One of the most undetected and unknown deficiencies in the human body internationally is iodine deficiency. And there's also iodide deficiency. Iodide comes from iodine, and iodine is required by every single cell for your body to function correctly. And iodide is the fuel for your thyroid. If you don't have a supply of iodide in its pure form, your thyroid over your lifetime will start to diminish in its functionality because it has to be fueled. And you don't want any kind of weird iodides that are out there. Now, iodine deficiency in the cellular level causes all kinds of interruptions in your electrical system in your body. It affects the intelligence in your body. It affects the cellular intelligence. So you have to have a steady flow of iodine in your diet, which is, of course, not coming even close in the food that people eat. Unless they're eating a ton of seafood, they might be getting enough, but it's like a tiny percentage of the population that actually has no iodine deficiency, especially in North America. North America, it's almost 100% iodine deficient in one way or another, at a certain degree or another. Some people are extremely iodine deficient, but regardless, you don't personally want to have any iodine deficiency in your life. So there are very specific forms of iodine that your body resonates with, and it has to be the purest form. And when it goes into your body uses it at a cellular level, and then it converts immediately when it reacts with different things in your body that it gets rid of, like heavy metals or fungal infections or yeast overgrowths or bacterial overloads or chemical overloads. The iodine reacts and becomes iodide, and then is picked up by your bloodstream and feeds that straight to your thyroid. Your thyroid can then use the iodide as a fuel to produce T3, T4 iodine hormones. And that goes into your bloodstream to support your immune system and your brain function. So this is actually very simple math. It's not overly scientific. It's just something that people are not aware of. So it's my job to make sure you become personally aware of all the things that are affecting your body to not work as high as health as it can be, and to get your body absolutely as healthy as it possibly can be in this lifetime. That brings your quality of life up. So you obviously want to have very high brain function. You want to have a really strong immune system, and you want to have cellular intelligence throughout your entire body to support you as a highly intelligent being. So that is the basic cadence. Pure iodine is consumed, it's ingested, and it's ingested in small amounts. So it's very, very low dose, but it's very high volume. But it goes in and it fills your body with the fuel it needs for your cellular function. And then that converts over to iodide to feed your thyroid. So the thyroid absolutely has to have iodide. One of the compromise factors that causes thyroid malfunction is that the receptor sites for the iodide in your thyroid get plugged up with bromide and fluoride. So anytime you drink any fluids that come from water systems, there's fluoride in it. You go to a restaurant and have a coffee or a drink or a juice or a water, that's going to have fluoride in it. That fluoride is going to plug up the receptor sites in your thyroid. If you're eating bread, bread has bromide in it. Bromide plugs up the receptor sites. The iodine in its pure form goes and cleans those receptor sites out so that when the iodide gets through the bloodstream to the thyroid, it can actually get into the receptor sites and fuel the thyroid. So this is a very, very simple equation. It's something that you really want to educate yourself about, because it's going to improve your quality of life significantly when you have your thyroid working well and your body fueled with both iodine and iodide. As a woman, you are having a greater challenge with iodine deficiency than a man. So as a woman, your entire reproductive organs and system requires iodine and iodide to be able to function at its highest levels. So if you've ever had fibroid cysts or endometriosis or any kind of reproductive discomforts or disorders during your cycle, or if you've gone through a very difficult menopause, whatever it is, or especially if you are pregnant. So pregnancy is pretty much guaranteed the woman's going to be iodine deficient because you need so much more during the pregnancy. But during your cycle, it's very similar, where you need to have a steady fuel going into your system of iodine and iodide. People often confuse those two. One comes from the other. So when you consume iodine in your dietary, that iodine goes and reacts with all different types of things that interrupt your cellular function. Things like heavy metals, fungal infections, yeast overgrowth, any kind of infection actually, and or chemical overloads, anything in your body that should not be there from what you're contaminating your body with through breathing or through the fluids you drank or the food you ate or through your skin. Those things are dealt with by iodine. When iodine reacts with those things and gets them out of your body, it then converts to iodide, which then goes to fuel your system, like your thyroid, which is the master gland for your entire hormonal system. So it's very important as a woman to make sure that you have a daily intake throughout each day of iodine. Now, if you're eating a ton of seafood, like say a lot of haddock, for example, a lot of cod, various different seaweeds, you're going to have more iodine in your body than other women, but it's still a problem because the oceans are super contaminated. So with that seafood and with those seaweeds, you are going to get a certain element of contaminants coming in your body that is also going to compromise. And the form of iodine in the seafood is iodide primarily. And again, don't confuse iodide with iodine. Your thyroid can only use iodide, but it wants pure form of it. So there's a very special type of iodine. It's called perfect iodine. And when you consume that in a liquid form, it does multiple functions in your system and in the sense of cleaning out your body of the contaminants that you don't want in your system. Plus, it's an energetic fuel for every cell in your body. That reaction becomes iodide. When you put the iodide through your thyroid uses that and splits it in half, making T3, T4 iodine hormones that brings your immune system way up, supports your reproductive organs, and improves your brain function significantly. Now, when you're pregnant, having a baby, forming the baby in your womb, it brings the intelligence of that baby's body way up and the brain intelligence way up because you're fueling that baby's body that's being formed with these two essential nutrients, iodine and iodide. As a man, require iodine and iodide every single day of your life. In the food system, there is not even close to enough iodine or iodide. Now, if you live near the ocean and you eat lots of seafood, maybe you're eating a lot of haddock fish or you're eating seaweed, you're going to get a certain amount of iodide in that form coming into your body through your diet. Problem with that is the oceans are extremely contaminated. And so you're going to be getting a lot of stuff you don't want. Now, your body absolutely requires iodine and iodide for this purpose. Number one, your cellular function is heavily dependent. So your body intelligence is depending upon iodine as a fuel daily. And when you consume a certain type called perfect iodine, that goes into your system and brings your electrical system up, your body intelligence way up. And that helps to clean out your system of fungal infections, yeast overgrowth, which is candida, heavy metals, chemical overloads, or various different microbial problems that people have, any kind of infections. And then that immediately converts over to iodide. Now, iodide is picked up in your bloodstream and delivered to your thyroid. And your thyroid is the master hormone gland. So that ties into testosterone production plus many, many other hormones. But for males, you want to make sure you're producing testosterone at a healthy level all the way through your life. But because men are used to the idea as they get older that their testosterone production goes down, that is not acceptable. It's not supposed to be that way. Age should have nothing to do with testosterone production. Your body, your testicles should be producing a good amount of testosterone on a regular basis, and that requires your thyroid to be in top condition and your body also have access to iodine directly. Now, some men will actually apply iodine in a diluted form straight to the scrotum, which goes in and supplies fuel to the testosterone developers, which is your testicles, and that keeps your reproductive organs super healthy. But when you consume it in water in your ingestion and it goes through your digestive tract, that then goes through your whole entire bloodstream and does all of its work converting over to iodide. And then you have the gentle dance between iodine and iodide, iodide going to your thyroid again, bringing your immune system way up, your brain function way up, and your entire reproductive system supported at the healthiest possible levels. So this is really simple math, easy to understand, very easy to apply, and super enjoyable. Perfect iodine tastes fresh and beautiful, doesn't have that horrible taste like most iodine products in the market that are contaminated with all kinds of other things your body doesn't require. And you can have a much higher functioning, much higher quality life in a physical body that performs like a young person throughout your entire very long life.